Our topic number 3 for solids of revolution is the cylindrical shell method. Ito yung tinatawag nating CSM. Sometimes it becomes more convenient and thus preferable to use the volume element in the form of a hollow cylinder or the thin cylindrical shell. So, itong method na to, siya yung opposite of the condition for the two methods na diniscuss natin kanina. So, bakit ko siya sinasabing opposite? Kasi, if we are going to recall, if we have here a curve f of x, kung meron tayong curve na f of x, wherein this is the limit of bounded, ito yung curve na to, is bounded by x is equal to a and x is equal to b. For the CDM or the circular disc method o yung piso method natin, what we are doing here is we are taking this strip, at siya yung pinapaikot natin dito sa x-axis natin. Wherein this x-axis here is the axis of revolution. Now, kapag ito yung kinuha natin, yung vertical na strip na to, so magkakaroon tayo ng circular disc, So, ito yung gagamitan natin ng circular disc method o yung tinatawag nating piso method. Wherein this axis here is the axis of revolution. Pero, dito, sa case ng cylindrical shell, instead of using the vertical strip, ang gagamitin natin is a horizontal strip, That horizontal strip, kapag pinaikot natin dito sa x-axis as our axis of revolution, yung magiging itsura niya, para siyang kamukha ng drum or lata, na merong manipis na dingding. So that's why this is referred to as the thin cylindrical shell. Now, if this is the case, and if we are computing for the volume of this thin cylindrical shell, yung mga factors na kailangan nating i-consider is, of course, the radius. Wherein, here, the radius is the distance y from the x-axis. And of course, kailangan din nating kunin itong distance x na to. Wherein that distance x here is, of course, the length nitong thin cylindrical shell natin. If we are going to consider the thickness, this thickness here is the dy. So, since ito yon, that is the dy. Now, okay. So, if we are going to imagine this, paano natin makukuha yung volume nito? So, para makuha natin yung volume, imagine natin, So, para to sa mga batang nakaranas maglaro ng lata. Ikakat yung lata, Kapag kinakat natin yung lata, and what will happen is, of course, magkakaroon tayo ng rectangle, We're in this rectangle here, ito yung distance x. Ito ngayon yung length na to, Ito yung length na to. Ito yung ating circumference. Wherein that circumference here is, of course, equal to 2 pi r. But our radius here is equal to y. So, we have here 2 pi y. That is the circumference. So, since we have the volume is equal to the area multiplied by the thickness, right? So, yung area natin dito is just the circumference multiplied by the distance x. So, this is cx. How about the thickness? The thickness here is the dy. So, we have here the dy. Now, For the differential of the volume, we have the circumference, which is 2 pi, multiplied by y, no? Ito yung circumference natin. And that would be multiplied by x dy. So, we have here x dy. Now, taking the integral for this, and we would have the volume is equal to 2 pi integral of y x dy. Now, what is the limit? Our limit, since that is the dy, so limit would be from y1 up to y2. In similar manner, no, kapag yung orientation ng cylindrical shell natin is like this. So, ganito yung magiging orientation ng cylindrical shell. Our volume for this is equal to 2 pi, no? Integral of, since ang radius naman natin dito will be in terms of x, and the length here will be the y. And of course, the thickness here would be the dx. So, we would have here xy dx, and our limit, since naka-x tayo, would be from x sub 1 up to x sub 2. What about in the scenario na bounded by two curves? So, let's say this is f of x, and this one is the function g of x. If we are going to recall sa previous topic natin, the circular washer, we are taking the vertical strip, right? So, kung kukuha tayo ng vertical strip, what will happen is, kapag ito, since this is the thickness of the dx, pag ito ay pinaikot natin sa circular washer natin, magkakaroon tayo ng, of course, a circular washer. This is a hollow, no? Hollow solids of revolution. And of course, this would be computed using the circular washer method. Now, dito sa case ng cylindrical shell method or the CSM, what we are taking here is the horizontal strip. If we are going to revolve this figure in the x-axis as our axis of revolution. So, what will happen in this case? That would be the dy, right? And ang mangyayari ay makakabuo ka rin nitong figure na to. Now, since yun yung scenario, kapag ito yung scenario kanina, we have here the volume is equal to 2 pi integral from y sub 1 up to y sub 2 of the y x dy. Now, babalikan natin to. Tingnan natin dito, this distance here, no, from our y-axis is the x sub 2, and this distance here from our y-axis is x sub 1. So, since etong distance na to is our distance x, so meaning, etong distance x natin could be expressed as, no? So, we have here the volume, integral from y sub 1 up to y sub 2. Etong x natin, no, will be expressed as x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So that would be x sub 2 minus x sub 1 multiplied by y dy. So we have here y dy. So this is the case kapag it is bounded by two curves. While on this one, no, so since This is just similar. Yung version naman nitong nakatayong cylinder will be the volume, no? So from this case, as we can see, this y here is bounded by y sub 2 minus y sub 1. So in this case, we have here 2 pi integral from x sub 1 up to x sub 2, and this y here is y sub 2 minus y sub 1, no? Ito yung y multiplied by x dx. So in this case, we have here y is expressed as the function of x, and this is in the function of x. So lahat sila ay nasa function of x, and we are taking the integral in terms of x, no, na variable. And in this case, ito ay naka-express, no, in terms of y, and we have here y and the dy. So lahat ng mga to ay naka-express in terms of y. And then, puproceed na tayo with the integration.